So let's refresh covalent. So at the beginning of this chapter, we said there was ionic compounds and covalent. So you could do ionic bonding or covalent bonding. Ionic was the transfer of electrons, and covalent was the sharing. So let's talk a little bit more about covalent. So covalent bonding results when we're sharing electrons, and the whole goal is to get 8. So I want to either have 8 electrons by myself, or between the ones that I have by myself and the ones I'm sharing, I want to get to a magic number of 8. So remember, 8 is how many valence electrons my noble gases have, and they're stable. So 8 is our magic number because we're trying to be kind of like my noble gas. So when I'm making bonds, or if I have electrons on me, I have different names for these electrons. So let's look at water. This is called a Lewis dot picture. We're going to be drawing these in the next chapter. But we have different electrons. Each one of these dots represents electrons. So right now, this oxygen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the oxygen's really happy. This hydrogen only has 2, and this hydrogen only has 2. And we'll talk about how they're okay with that next chapter. But if we notice, there's different types of electrons. So these electrons are just on the oxygen, but these electrons are being shared. They're in between the hydrogen and the oxygen. So those electrons that are being shared are called bonding pairs. So this is a bonding pair. Electrons that are not shared, so those that are shared, those that are not shared, are going to be on a specific element, and these are called lone pairs because they're on one lone, or they're all lone, on one lone atom. So oxygen has 2 lone pairs and 2 bonding pairs. Hydrogen has only 1 bonding pair on it. Okay. Also, the lone pairs sometimes are called non-bonding pairs, but sometimes this gets a little wordy between bonding and non-bonding, so we just say bonding and lone pairs. Now, one of the things that we can do is we want to be able to classify our materials a little bit differently. Now that we've talked about ionic and covalent and bonds and non-bonds, we want to kind of be able to classify our material a little bit differently. So on the next lecture, we're going to break down how to classify materials in a new way.